Outlaw motorcycle gangs like the Hells Angels and Comancheros are laundering millions in dirty cash every single day through sophisticated schemes. Some operations handle up to $1 million per hour during peak activity. These biker empires turn drug profits into clean wealth faster than you think. Hey everyone, today we're exposing how these gangs build hidden money machines. If you're into true crime, smash that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. First off, let's set the stage. Outlaw motorcycle gangs, or OMCGs, aren't just about brotherhood and bikes, they're big business. Groups like the Hells Angels, Bandidos, and Comancheros dominate global crime scenes, raking in billions from drug trafficking, weapons smuggling, extortion, and more. But here's the kicker. All that cash is worthless if it's traceable. Enter money laundering, the art of making dirty money look legit. It's not new, but in recent years, these gangs have leveled up, blending old-school tactics with high-tech twists. According to experts, money laundering cases tied to bikers are surging, with high-profile busts like the Romanian Hells Angels leader, snagged for a plot involving Bitcoin and murder for hire. In Canada alone, authorities have noted a sharp rise in sophisticated schemes, including crypto use and offshore networks, as gangs adapt to tighter banking scrutiny. So, how do they do it? Let's start with the basics. Biker gangs love cash-intensive businesses because they're perfect for mixing illegal earnings with the legit revenue. Think tattoo parlors, strip clubs, bars, auto repair shops, motorcycle dealerships, and even jewelry stores. These spots generate tons of cash daily, making it easy to slip in drug profits without raising flags. For instance, a gang member might own a tattoo shop where customers pay $200 for ink, but the books show $500. The extra comes from coke sales. In Canada, the Hells Angels have been notorious for this. A report from the Canadian Financial Crime Academy details how they use bars and nightclubs to commingle funds. Drug money gets deposited as bar receipts, or funneled through trucking companies via fake invoices for non-existent hauls. Recent cases show Hells Angels-linked figures using jewelry businesses to launder cash, with one BC jeweler, a self-proclaimed member, facing $66,000 in penalties for anti-money laundering violations in 2025 after failing to properly report large cash transactions. One Ontario case saw Hells Angels figures buy properties with unexplained cash, then torch them for massive insurance payouts. One fire netted a whopping $7.9 million in clean claims. This arson-for-profit tactic turns illicit funds into legitimate insurance payouts, a classic integration method that exploits the real estate market's stability. Expanding on that, real estate is a gold mine for laundering. Gangs buy properties, luxury homes, rural estates, commercial buildings, or even waterfront land, using dirty cash, then sell or rent them out for legit income. They often use nominees like girlfriends or relatives to hold titles and dodge scrutiny. In Project Hobart, a major Canadian investigation into an illegal gambling ring tied to Hells Angels members, millions in proceeds were allegedly funneled through a Toronto law firm's trust fund to park funds for property buys. One key figure ran a payday loan business that took in nearly $2 million over 5 years, despite no clear legit source, snapping up $5.1 million in real estate. Court documents from related probes reveal how unexplained cash flowed into southern Ontario properties, cars, motorcycles, and even development land. This mafia-style approach, lawyer trusts, offshore accounts, and high-value assets shows how bikers are evolving beyond brute force into corporate-level operators, often collaborating with professionals in finance and law to shield their empires. Down under in Australia, it's a similar story, but with local flavors. Outlaw gangs like the Comancheros and Rebels have been linked to laundering through poker machines, or pokies. These are everywhere in pubs and clubs, and they're cash cows for criminals. A gang member feeds dirty money into a machine, plays a bit, then cashes out winnings as clean funds. The New South Wales Crime Commission interviewed bikers who admitted using pokies to wash billions annually. One probe revealed organized crime figures, including OMCG members, pouring illicit cash through these machines to legitimize it. And get this, Australian clubs have been accused of laundering massive sums. Estimates suggest some operations handle up to $1 million per hour during peak drug booms, based on seized hauls and trafficking scales. A botched Comancheros deal in New Zealand exposed a $1 million cash drop tied to meth trafficking, highlighting the sheer volume. But it's not just brick and mortar. Modern bikers are tech-savvy. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are a game changer. Anonymous, borderless, and hard to trace. In the Romanian Hells Angels case, founder Marius Lazar used Bitcoin transfers alongside bank wires to send nearly $1 million to the US for a 400-kilo cocaine buy and hit jobs. Lazar, extradited from Romania in 2023, got slapped with 300 months. That's 25 years in federal prison in 2025 for racketeering, drug conspiracy, and money laundering. The plot involved soliciting murders of rivals and even U.S. cops, offering military gear in return. This transnational scheme spanned Romania, the U.S., and beyond, showing how bikers network globally. Shell companies are another favorite. These fake businesses exist on paper to layer money through bogus transactions. A gang sets up a shell in a lax jurisdiction like the Cayman Islands, invoices for fake services, and voila, dirty cash becomes payment received. Trade-based laundering amps this up, over or under invoice imports/exports to move value. For bikers dealing in drugs or guns, this hides profits in motorcycle parts shipments or apparel trades. A Lincurious blog on money laundering schemes explains how gangs use smurfing, breaking big sums into small deposits via mules to avoid bank alerts. Round-tripping sends funds abroad through shells, then back as investments. Gambling's big, too. Casinos or online betting sites let bikers lose dirty money to accomplices who win it clean. In Australia, bikers have infiltrated construction via fake firms to launder through underbids and ghost payrolls. Reselling assets? Buy luxury bikes or cars with cash. Flip them quick for bankable checks. Let's zoom in on more cases. In Europe, a major 2024 bust in Marbella, coordinated by Europol with German, Spanish, and Romanian authorities, nabbed a high-ranking Hells Angels member as the ringleader of a network trafficking marijuana, cocaine, and weapons from Spain to Germany and beyond. Money from these operations was likely washed through gang-owned clubs, restaurants, and yachts used for discreet deals in places like Puerto Banús. This transnational scheme highlights how European chapters exploit coastal hubs for smuggling and laundering. In the US, a public intelligence report lists how gangs launder via security firms, hazardous waste operations, and even a tax shelter setup like the Church of Angels, a non-profit religious entity incorporated by some Hells Angels charters in New York to potentially shield assets and claim tax exemptions on club properties. Australian OMCGs are aggressive. Recent operations show their ongoing reach, with a 2024 major raid and charges against dozens of Comancheros members and affiliates for money laundering, drug importation, and organized crime. Police seized millions in assets during a 3-year probe. The Australian Institute of Criminology highlights that OMCG members are disproportionately involved in serious crime, with studies noting high costs per offender in violence and enterprise activities like meth labs. They collaborate with Italian mafia and Asian syndicates, using encrypted phones like N0M, until the FBI sting in 2021 exposed it all. In late 2025 to early 2026, raids continued, targeting Comancheros-linked firearms and drug supply networks in Sydney's southwest, underscoring their persistent adaptation. Why the surge in 2025 to 2026? Post-pandemic, bikers pivoted to cybercrime and fentanyl trades, exploding profits. Law enforcement's cracking down. U.S. sentences like Lazar's send shockwaves. But gangs adapt, recruiting tech whizzes and insiders at ports for smuggling. Diving deeper into history, OMCGs started post-World War II as rebel clubs, but by the 80s, they were crime syndicates. the Hells Angels, founded in 1948, now have chapters in 60-plus countries. Early laundering was simple: bury cash or buy bikes. Now it's corporate. A Mother Jones piece on banditos ties them to meth and white slavery rackets, laundering through ice cream shops of all things. In the UK, blogs like Biker T-Shirt Company describe extortion on bars for protection, with proceeds washed via club events. US stings, like an undercover op in Ohio, took down dozens for guns and drugs, revealing pawn shops as fronts. Human cost? Huge. These empires fund violence, rival wars, hits, intimidation. Communities suffer from drugs flooding streets. But bikers project charity, toy runs, hospital visits to mask it, fighting back. Global ops like Europol's Marbella bust and FBI's and Zero M trap. Australia bans gang colors in pubs. Canada seizes assets. Wrapping up, biker gangs' money empires are vast, laundering millions hourly through ingenuity and ruthlessness. From pokies in Sydney to Bitcoin in Bucharest, it's a hidden world fueling crime. Shocking? Absolutely. But knowledge is power. Stay informed. We've exposed how biker empires like the Hells Angels and Comancheros launder millions hourly, from pokies and real estate scams to Bitcoin and shell companies, fueling violence while hiding behind a rebel image. Law enforcement is striking back with massive stings, asset seizures, and sentences like the 25 years handed to Marius Lazar in 2025. Knowledge is the real weapon against these hidden money machines. Stay sharp and informed. Thanks for watching. Comment your thoughts on the wildest method, like subscribe, hit the bell, and check the sources below. Ride safe.